And so I just want to share something with you and ask you a question like, why are you so scared to go ahead and jump out and do what it is that you are trying to do? I know there can be a lot of reasons that, we pretty much are fearful of jumping out and trying new things. And I think one of them can definitely be the fear of missing out on income, the fear of doing what you want to do and just coming up short. And I think you have to be able to drown that out, right? Even when it comes to the fear of missing out financially. So making the transition from my old job to the job that I'm doing now, which is barbering, I think one of the things that I was kind of fearful of is like, will a clientele come? Will I be able to sustain, my regular living? And so making the transition was not as hard as I thought it would be. We've had to make some cuts, we had to make some changes because I made more money at my previous job than I make doing barbering, right? But at the same time, I'm better with money than I was at my old job. At my old job, I was just, spending. I was also saving and stuff, but, I just wasn't as conscious of where my money was going and how my money was working for me. And so, I made a lot of like just bad choices with my money, right? And so as I became self-employed, it was a fear of like, am I gonna make enough money? But I think, you have to come to the realization of like, how are you actually sustaining? And for me, it's God. And I think that, at my old job, he was using that means, but my old job was not my provider. God was my provider. And so me understanding that God is my provider, like whatever I do, wherever I go, I think God will continue to provide for me and my family. And I'm not saying that I don't have to do anything, I don't have to put in any work, but I think God has been creating more unique ways and we are able to see more money than we were able to see, at our old job, at my old job and the things that I was doing. And I'm not saying that, we rich, but I think we are just understanding what it takes to use our finances in a way that we should and to value our finances in the way that we should. We not out here just spending on meaningless things. We've never been those types of people to just go out and just spend on a bunch of meaningless things. But I do think that, some of our fear can be what we can do. But I think you have to understand like, there's so much other stuff that can happen and so many cards that can fall into place for you to be able to do what it is that you're doing. So I'm just saying this to say, don't fear if it's something that you want to get out here and do, something that you really want to try, go ahead and try it. Like, I know the saying is it was a trend at one point, YOLO, when they say you only live once. And I think it's true in a lot of ways. Like you a lot of times will regret it if you never jump out here and try. I don't think you will regret, failing sometimes, but I don't think failure is permanent, unless you let it be permanent. But I think in failure, you have to learn. And in life, in everything, you have to learn. Like they say, failure is part of success. And I think sometimes we think failure is the opposite of success. I think we think failure a lot of times is the opposite of success, but it's not. And so you have to understand that you will fail in life, you will make mistakes, and like, yeah, my wife has been with me, through trying many different things. Like I've spent a lot of money trying things, I've done a lot of things, and some of it has been effective and some of it hasn't been as effective, but I still have the ability to continue to try. And so, don't be afraid to try whatever it is that you are looking to do. Plan it out, do what you need to do. Don't jump in just blindly. But, also like stop overthinking again. I continue to reiterate that because I always tell you to stop overthinking. And I'm telling my own self a lot of times, stop overthinking. And so you have to just get out there and do, and just understand that your job is not your provider. Like God is the one who provides for you and he will continue to do it, so just continue to trust in him, continue to walk it out. And yeah, so anyway, like I hope that this is helpful, and go ahead, like, share, subscribe. repost whatever platform you on. But yeah, anyway, I hope this was helpful for real. And so, like I said, I'm just going about just sharing my heart and sharing the things that I've learned in life so that you can learn from them, or can do the complete opposite or whatnot, whatever. But it's on you. But anyway, I'm Damien, and until the next video, I'm out. Peace.